as our Summer of Superman series continues, we march on to July 11th. We are now a week away at the time of this recording from the release of James Gunn's Superman, and I have had some special guests in the studio with me over the past few weeks, and today is no exception. I'm excited to talk to him. I have admired his professionalism and reporting for the past couple of years, really, online as the new DCU has been set up, and asked him to come on today, and he was gracious enough to do so. Alex from @DC Film News, thank you, sir, for joining us.
No, thank you for having me, Derek. I've been a fan of yours for years. It's been like, what, 20 years now for the House of L?
It's been 20 years. You say that and my back just kind of tightens up.
Hey, I'm with you too. I'm no spring chicken as well.
We're both dads. That has something to do with it as well.
Exactly.
Probably. I think the first time I said anything to you was how I, from my own journalism background, I really appreciate A, your professionalism online, but B, also your unbiased nature. You were just reporting the news when you post, and you do so very well, and I always appreciate everything that you put out through your outlet. What is your background? What is your, I mean, because obviously you're pulling things from your own line of work, I have to guess, that you're pouring into this passion project of yours.
That's kind of funny. So right now I'm in the legal profession. I'm not a lawyer yet. I'll be sitting for the bar sometime next year. I graduated a few years ago, but with COVID and a few other personal things, a couple surprises, 2 daughters, like that, put everything on the back burner.
Sure.
But prior to that, I've done some things in radio back in college. Went to Syracuse for Newhouse, so I do have a communications and a broadcast background, but then fell into law thereafter. But I've always had this passion for entertainment throughout, and kind of dip my toes in that with the whole Snyder movement. I was knee-deep in the background for quite some years, helping out a couple of outlets on research, especially because I remember, I got in because I remember one of the channels that I was a fan of was misinterpreting the DGA guidebook. That made not a contract. And I'm like, I need to say something. I could get in trouble because, again, I'm not a legal professional as of yet, but I have been trained, I just took this class, so I know the book. I know those clauses. So I started coming in and just letting them know, hey, you're looking at this wrong. It means this. And also you have to focus on these items. So I've been... From there, with those channels, it started changing from fringe to being a little bit more professional as to the reporting. And then fell into just doing it on my own as first as a little hobby. And then it just, I don't know, it kind of turned into this passion that originally I was going to quit this a few years ago after the failure of the Flash movie. But the fans loved what we did. Me and my team, and we just kept on trucking, and we're here because of the fans.
That's incredible, and I think it speaks volumes to, again, your professionalism in the medium, because just looking at what you put out versus what other outlets that have had decades of reputation put out, I'm always more, the eye is more drawn to what you do more often than not, and
yeah, no, it's hard, especially with having the name DC Film News. So,
yeah,
of course, everyone's going to think, this guy is a shell. This guy is going to be positive on everything. I'm like, no. I have been critical on a couple of things, especially even this rollout on the DCU and a couple of things on the new film.
Yeah.
Because in the end, I'm not here for the studio. I'm here as a fan. For DC, for these characters. I just want them I just want these characters just to live and just succeed within the medium, because DC hasn't had the best of luck for the past few years. The time is right just to hopefully have this jumpstart and hopefully just bring the inspiration, the spark back to the cinema and for fans, young and old.
Absolutely. What is your, as far as being a fan goes, what is your background? What's your origin story, so to speak, when it comes to Superman and these larger-than-life characters?
With Superman, Like my first introduction to the Man of Steel was, I'm gonna age myself. It was sometime in the '80s when I was a wee little lad. My uncle introduced me to the old Fleischer cartoons. Like he had the old cassettes. So that was like my first introduction, and then from there, of course, I was introduced to Christopher Reeve. But my true foray into that character had to be the Lois and Clark show with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher.
Mm-hmm.
That was my Superman for years. And speaking of that, like on that show, like I know a lot of people just mention who's the best Lex Luthor. They always forget John Shea.
Thank you.
He is such an underrated Lex. And
he's so good and didn't get utilized enough in the show ultimately when all was said and done across 4 seasons. But yes, he is on my Mount Rushmore, definitely.
He is. And some of the acts that he has done, like I remember I actually revisited an episode just recently and just seeing how relevant it is today was just utilizing U.S. law against Superman. Like, do you have a flying permit? For instance, like he literally grounded Superman. It was great.
Yeah. It's funny to me, people in our age bracket, I guess I should say, how similar and dissimilar our experiences are for where our jumping on point for Superman was, because it's usually one of those 3 things. It's Fleischer, it's Reeve, or it's Lois and Clark. Now, that's not that weird because what else did we really have at that time period that was readily available to us? Not a lot.
Exactly.
Obviously, if you had the means to watch the Reeves series from the serials back then, but as far as what you could put your hands on with some availability, whether it be picking up a Fleischer cassette, which was very easy to do in a store, or renting the Reeves films at a video store, or watching Lois and Clark on Sunday nights on ABC, the Venn diagram of overlap of how so many of us got on board is always really interesting to me, because it's either in that order or somewhere in that range of, I did this, and then that led me to this, and then that led me to this. So similar, very much.
Let's not forget with the death of Superman as well. That was on the news. I remember when I was a kid, everywhere. That black cover. Actually, that was like my first comic book I bought.
Absolutely. So, that was a huge moment for me as well, a huge turning moment from just being a fan that had Superman toys and watched Superman on TV to, as I call it now, moving from fan territory to academic territory, because the death of Superman was such a huge turning point for me as a fan. So with that background, with so much history for this character and your love and adoration for him, what has been, and obviously there's been level of excitement enough for you to start this outlet and pour so much of yourself into it, what has got you most excited about what's about to happen here in the next few days?
I'm just hoping for just a revitalization back into DC. Because it's DC within the general audience, the trust has been lost, and also with this film and from what Gunn's trying to do, from what I've seen, especially behind the scenes, a couple of assets I can't even discuss or even release. It looks as though that he's diving in deep into the Silver Age of comics, something again for a general audience. They haven't really witnessed, because studios have been a little hesitant as to going that far with these comic films. They want to try to ground it to reality, trying to make it as real as possible, whether it's due to the influence of Nolan's Batman. But there's always been this fear on just going a bit weird, going too Kirby, so to speak. And I'm seeing this from everything from clips and trailers and these conversations I've had with colleagues who've either seen the 30 minutes or the full film. This is looking like the DCAU. And if you've ever watched or been introduced to the Superman, the animated series, that's what this is looking at, what we're seeing in reality, which is exciting, because that was my jam. Especially just seeing Justice League Unlimited, for instance, seeing all those characters interacting into a world that they've known these metahumans. It's nothing new. It's how their society is, and we have to deal with these challenges day in and day out. It's just it's looking. I'm hoping that it's just going to bring something new for this genre, because it's been stagnant as of late. A lot of studios, which it's no fault to them, especially it's just what's gone on the past couple of years with COVID and just the focus on streaming that they have to pump out as much content as possible, which in turn ruined the quality of these projects and has affected the legacy of these characters. So, in one aspect, if Gunn is stating the truth that any of these projects will only go forward once a script is complete, that we're going to be seeing quality back onto the cinema.
Right. As a Superman fan, first and foremost, I'm DC more than anything, but more than anybody in the DC universe, I'm Superman, clearly. And
Batman.
Yeah. And from a standpoint of loving a character that hasn't really gotten his due in the proper way recently, and that's not to say he hasn't been done fantastic in many mediums, especially television. We were just talking about Lois and Clark, obviously huge Smallville guy here. Superman and Lois was fantastic.
Superman and Lois was... I cannot believe the amount of... the lack of interest on that show when it was the most quality I have seen for Superman in years.
It still astounds me to this day. We should have never gotten that show. Like, we were lucky to even have gotten what we got of it between the dealings going on behind the scenes at Warner and Discovery and between the pandemic and everything else. That show should have never happened.
No, and Tyler was only contracted to do 2 episodes from Supergirl.
Yeah, from Supergirl. So the fact that we got it all, I just feel absolutely blessed for, because while I would have loved to seen it go to its full range of 5, 6, 7 seasons, whatever the plan ended up being there with the CW, I'm so lucky we got what we got, because I think Tyler and Bitsy deserve all their flowers.
They do.
For their performances in those roles, and it's something, sadly, I feel like they're not getting. They were getting so much of there at the end of the show, which was just 6 months ago, and now we've turned attention to the movie, which is the way things go. But I don't ever want to forget what they did for fans for 4 or 5 years there, because it was so important. But because we've had iterations that have started and then been pulled out from up under us, and so many of those have been origin stories or retelling or pseudo sequels or what have you, to get dropped into in a established universe that we're peeking behind the curtain of with this new film, where metahumans have existed for over 300 years now. Yeah, and that we're not getting the straight Superman origin story. From that standpoint, I'm still like, there's a part of me that just wants to see James Gunn's interpretation of the Rocket coming to Earth and the Kents finding him and that kind of thing. But I get the hesitation to do that yet again, because it has been done so well in film and television, between the Donner films, between Smallville and even Superman and Lois. So to get dropped into this new universe of quote-unquote gods and monsters and see how it's unveiling before our very eyes, it's kind of like we're being brought into something, like we're getting an exclusive invite to a world that has existed for them but not for us for so long. And that excites me, because at first I'm like, why are we getting this character or this character in a Superman movie? Why can't we just have a Superman movie? And I quickly let that go, because I was excited, A, just excited for anything Superman, but B, excited for a new take that pays respect to what has come before, but also sets its course for something entirely new. And I feel like, I've said before on the show many times, as a Superman fan, we famine and Batman fans feast, because that's more often than not how it goes when you get, here's 12 different animated adaptations of the Cape Crusader, and here you enjoy your one version of Superman. Which, not to say, I love my adventures with Superman, and I'm glad we're getting more of it as well.
Likewise, I'm just waiting for them to finally pull the trigger on bring out a Superman game. It's been too long.
Yes, and I hope this is just I hope this red velvet rope of next week is just the flooding of things that come out for this character, and seeing children excited for this character again, and general audiences excited for this character again, and seeing the Shield everywhere is a phenomenal feeling.
No, it's been great just seeing the Shield for the past couple months. Like, I've not seen so many Superman shirts worn in public in so long. It's in the zeitgeist right now, and I hope it stays.
Well, it's just nice to walk in a store and there be able to buy something Superman with Superman on it once again, to go down a toy aisle and see Superman on it, to go in, even in the grocery department and see him on cookies or cans of Arizona iced tea or anything. It's just nice to know that a character that has existed for nearly 9 decades still has that locomotive power, no pun intended, in the year 2025, and to get a breath of fresh air. So when you walk out of the theater next week, we've talked about when we're both seeing it. We won't go into details about that here on the show, but what is your what do you want plastered on your face when you walk out of the theater?
I just want to walk out grinning ear from ear.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I just want to just come out and just say that I enjoyed the film. I don't have expectations of it being this is the best interpretation of the Man of Steel since Christopher Reeves, or the best film since The Dark Knight. You're not going to see that from me. But I just want to step out smiling, not only for myself but with the audience as well.
You're never going to please me all the time. That's just not something that's going to happen when it comes to this medium, this character, and this IP, because I have just, I have such strong... I'm so protective of the character in my own right, and that's not to say I gatekeep him at all, because I want him to be accessible for everybody, but I am just very... I want him done so right and taken so well by general audiences and everything. So I know sitting there's going to be something in the theater where I'm like, I didn't like that. But there's stuff I didn't like in the last iteration. There's stuff I didn't like in Man of Steel. There's stuff I didn't... And I adore Superman Returns. Absolutely adore it. But there's obviously stuff in there that I wish had been done. I'm not going to say I didn't like it, but wish I had been done differently. So
exactly.
My hope is when I walk out next week is that I don't have to say wish. Ellipses, I wish ... this, or I wish that. My hope is that I walk out and say I'm content, I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to what comes next for this character, because I do get so bogged down, or in these characters, because I do get so bogged down with the fact that we're launching this universe, and we kind of had our appetizer with Creature Commandos. But we do turn around in a month and get another season of Peacemaker. We do turn around in 10 months and get Supergirl. Yeah. So we're rocking and rolling in a way we haven't done before, with a set forward motion that's not just, hey, let's throw this hey, this character's trending this week, or this character had a meme on social media this week. Let's turn around and make a movie or a project out of them, because that's what seems to be hot at the moment. And, I fault more Warner than DC, but I fault for several things that are both due to them and not due to them. We have had a very few trying years for myriad reasons. Obviously, the pandemic set a lot of things both in motion and out of motion. The Flash production, you were talking about that film and how, plagued it was throughout its run. And, I lament not ever getting to see Batgirl, because taking Keaton away from me from me in the cowl is a travesty.
Don't get me started with that. And I know you had Epic Film Guys recently.
Yeah.
Justin, him and I, we were in the forefront on that film, and the things I used to feed him. So the day when the New York Post mentioned that it was canceled, I thought it was fake, because A, it's coming from them, and B, I had a conversation with crew the night before.
Yeah, just
things were turning on post production, and then it just came in. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
so unprecedented. And man, I hope one day we get to see some footage. Like, I know some exist. I'm just waiting for someone who's brave enough to release a few clips
to post it somewhere. The fact that you have him driving the Batmobile again, something we didn't even get in the Flash movie, and you're gonna deny that access.
It's like a 2-second scene. Just release that. Just him turning out from the alley. That's all I want.
That's all I want.
Interaction with Batgirl and jumping to the Batmobile and drive off into the sunset. Keaton deserves that, at least.
It's so weird to think what we have been able to have as a result of, because like you have things like, I wasn't the biggest Arrowverse guy. I watched 98% of all the shows, but to get to a point where we're doing a live action version of, as we call it here, Diet Crisis on Infinite Earths, or Crisis on Infinite Earths Jr. On television, and to get Brandon Routh back, and to be able to to be able to accomplish so many things like that when there's not a plan in place, when we're just doing whatever works for us in the moment. Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's try this. And so to now have a set vision between James and Peter Safran that's going to drive us for the next decade, hopefully, and beyond, is a very rewarding feeling for me as a fan. I don't know if you feel similarly to that or not.
No, I do. As you mentioned before, it's like as of late, and it's no blame to DC, and this is before when it became DC Studios. It's really Warner and the turnover that they're having over and over and over again, which has affected each and every project or slate that they were trying to do. And I feel there was no plan. Like, they were just going as along, and hopefully something would stick. And whichever did stick, for instance, say Superman and Lois, for instance, that's like one of the best products that they've put together in years. It just didn't land. There was not enough of a public awareness of it, which is disheartening. But now we have something that's central. DC Studios, it's its own entity, so now they have zero focus onto these projects. And hopefully, it's from the result of that, we get to see a plan in motion on television, film, games, and so forth, that we don't have to worry that everything's going to change within the next 2 years.
Yeah. I've maintained, and I've said this before, that Marvel, the MCU rather, was a happy accident. Because in 2008, you've got Iron Man looming, and you put out a teaser poster for a movie that doesn't even have a director or a star attached to it yet, with the date that the film's coming out, and then landed on that date when it didn't even have a director and a star yet at that point. And to see what unfolded from that. I can remember being in that theater and Sam Jackson walking on screen in the coda and all that. That all was a very happy accident for a studio that obviously had been putting out, popcorn fun movies up to that point, and obviously Sony with Spider-Man, but then you've got like the Fantastic Four films and stuff that did work and didn't work, and then ultimately landed into something that just absolutely worked for as long as it did.
Well, to be fair, that was technically like the Marvel Studios' first film,
right.
But it wasn't like their distribution. And
right.
With that happy accident, just seeing Sam Jackson come out in the post-credits, at first I thought, like, okay, this might be cool, but then I'm like, are they really going to do this?
Right.
It really cemented just seeing Tony appear in The Incredible Hulk.
Absolutely.
That's when I knew, like, okay.
And I still hate to this day that
they're cooking something, and I cannot wait.
I still hate to this day that they ruined his reveal in the promos. I know why they did, obviously, but
they had to. That's all the tickets.
They had to by that point. But as much as that was a happy accident, I feel like everything really since 2012 on the DC side has been an unhappy accident.
Yeah, no, it was just chasing that success and not allowing a story that just to breathe. Like, Snyder had something, and he had something good, whether the general audience will accept it or not. It's disheartening that we're not going to get a conclusion to it, and from there, like, it's just so disconnected with everything, with all the films, because it's just the studio reps coming in being like, hey, let's make this TikTok friendly. Hey, let's throw in, like, a trailer company just to redo a whole film. And because a trailer that they released did well with numbers, maybe they know editing better than a director themselves. And it really sucks because with the Warner Brothers, it's just turned into a numbers game. And I get it. They need to make a profit. And it turned into Moneyball, which I'm a baseball fan, love the film, love the book. And I get it. Like, I get that mentality. Hey, they're on first. Great. Yeah. But it ruined the quality. So what? That you make a little profit here and there, but in the end, you're affecting not only the characters, but the returning audience. Because as of late, they're not standing for that anymore. And so that's what I'm hoping to see with this film, whether Superman makes 700 plus, maybe it could do $1 billion, or it might be under. I don't know. But whether it lands, I don't want there to be yet another overreaction, and just allow it just to stay its course, because the goal for this film is to bring back audience trust. So if it hits 700 plus, that's a win. Regardless of like what you see online being like, oh, it broke even. Oh, it made a slight profit. Oh, it was under. That number just showcases right there that there is an audience right now. So now you have to cultivate that. You have to let that grow with the next projects moving forward. Superman has been and always will be just that. What is that term? It's going to be the gateway for this new DCU.
Yeah.
So,
funny you mentioned box office numbers, because that was something I wanted to pick your mind about, and I am not it has to make this kind of person at all, because I remember the days of when movies just got to be movies, and it didn't matter what the box office was, so long as it was enjoyed and well read. But
the thing is, it's weird with box office right now, especially with these budgets that look like balloon numbers. Because a lot of people have to realize now that let's say a $300 million budget film, even after incentives, for instance, technically is what a film was a few years ago at maybe 150 or 200 million. You have to look at the current costs right now, things post COVID. So that's the reality. That's what the reality is. So. Yeah, but with box office numbers, of course, studios are always trying to chase for the billion.
Absolutely.
It's been very hard, especially post-COVID.
Very hard.
But it's already happened a few times.
It has. Again, happy accidents. More sometimes. And and then we've obviously got, theoretically, I don't take anything for certain anymore until I'm sitting in a theater. There's still part of me as a Superman fan that's so trepidatious that's like, I will believe this movie is coming out when I'm watching it next week, because I still feel like it's gonna get taken away from me here in the last few hours. And then you've got 2 Avengers movies looming that, my God, the budgets on those are going to be astronomical when all is said and done, between the amount of people that, just from the actors alone, that are starring in the 2 of them. What's your guesstimate for what we're going to see, either opening weekend numbers or long-term domestic and international, but when all is said and done?
Well, I believe we were getting some new tracking today or tomorrow. So
yeah.
What I'm seeing right now, I think it's going to be north for opening weekend, past 100 million. So I would say maybe... I'm hoping it could hit 120. I know there are reports that it could do 175. I don't think it's going to hit that number unless something changes within the next few days. Because this film, and no fault to DC Studio, it's again back to Warner. There's a lack of trust with the audience. The DC product, it's not what it used to be. Yeah. And there were some happy accidents within DC, especially with Matt Reeves' The Batman and so forth. But yeah, it's going to come down to the reviews and word of mouth. So I'm hoping that if it goes past 100 million for opening weekend, that's going to be a win. Then I'm hoping when it comes to its second or third weekend, that's not going to have a significant dip.
Yeah,
and
we do not need a drop off. We do not need a drop off.
We do not, and there's been some scary drop offs this year. So I'm hoping it's going to have the legs that it will hit north of 700. So matching around the Batman numbers. So if we're there, it's golden. And
I think that's fair.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. So what about you?
I would love to see $1 billion. I think it would.
It could do it.
It could. It definitely
could. Any film
could.
has a potential of hitting that number. It comes down to its luck. It's the stars have to align, and it's the audience.
I'm still shocked that Minecraft did the numbers that it did, but I'm also very far removed from the Minecraft age bracket. I mean, I obviously know what a juggernaut it is, but I don't. I've never played it.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was gonna hit that, but then again, that's just like you. Like looking at the trailers and everything, and I felt like there wasn't that much of a discussion of it. I didn't think it was gonna make those numbers.
Right.
But in the back of my head, I always told myself there was a lot of fans. Young and old, and look at your damn nephew. That kid loves Minecraft.
Really?
He's a He's gonna be a freshman next year in college, and he still plays it.
Well, that's the cool thing about that.
Just seeing like its success, I was like, holy crap! And then also Sinners 2 as well. They were gonna write that off.
Yeah,
but it succeeded.
Yes,
and thankfully so, because that was a quality ass film.
So good. I just watched it again last night, and I adore. That's going to be one of my top films of the year. I'm hoping it gets surpassed next week, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So, but hey, we've already seen. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to, because I'm a cinephile. I know you had Adam last week, but that film, Sinners, at least brought back just like, I hate using the word cinema, but it brought the appreciation from the general audience to actually seek out those IMAX screens to see it in its true format, and having that realization that these films are different when on how they're presented, and you do have a difference of an experience. And from there, it's like, it's incentivizing hopefully theater chains just to up it up just a bit, just to bring in the audience, because right now you got people rather just stay home and just click on the remote, because you may have TVs right now are fucking cheap.
Yeah.
For 70-inch TLC.
Yeah.
Why do you want to leave the home? You have to bring that incentive, and the movie that you're producing has to match those expectations. You cannot just throw in something on the screen and be like, oh, it's in 3D, and that conversion is fucking horrible, and you'll get that headache. Whereas with Sinners, what Coogler did in some of those scenes, just to match within the frames, it was just genius.
Yes, absolutely.
And you felt it within the screen, and you felt it within the audience. And it's going to be sad that a lot of people's first experiences of that film will be at home, and they missed out. So I'm hoping for future re-releases of that film.
Absolutely. I'm the same with you on that. My goal anytime going to a movie is, anytime sitting in a theater, is to feel like a kid again, no matter what I'm watching, whether it be a Sinners or anything. I want to feel that same level of excitement I did when I was going opening night to see a Batman Forever or Batman Returns or whatever. Just Lord, there's been a lot of Batman movies in my lifetime.
There
have Superman movies.
Hey. No, Batman Forever was a great opening night.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But just in general, whether it was going to see an American Tail, Fievel Goes West, or a Goofy movie, or anything, whatever you were seeing as a kid, to have that level of, I get to go to the movies, I get to eat popcorn, I get to sit and watch something on the big screen. I love that. Exactly. I adore that still to this day.
I'm with you. It's just once the lights dim, you're transported.
Yes.
And that's what I always want to get out of the theater. I just want to go in and just cut myself off from the world and just enter into what I'm viewing on the screen. It's just this escape. I feel like a child every time I walk in, regardless of what film it is. Now, I'm hoping when I watch it, it's good. And in fact, there's actually only one film in my history that I actually walked out and requested a refund, and I will burn it anytime I see a copy. I will destroy it.
I want to know what that is.
Master of Disguise. That was
Dana Carvey.
Oh my god, I couldn't. I love him. I love that actor. I love his work. But that film, I'm like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I always say, every film is a miracle. The amount of time, of production, just putting it all together. Like, I always have that respect. It's the only one I can't. I don't know how it went through.
At some point, there'll be a documentary about early 2000s cinema and how some of those things got made.
Oh, I would love to see that. And speaking about early 2000s, like, I'm hoping, like, especially those early 2000s spoofs, that we get a revitalization back again, especially with Naked Gun.
So excited.
I am
so excited for Naked Gun.
Praying. Yeah.
As soon as that got announced and that Liam was taking on the Frank Drebin role, I was like, that he is so, his comedic timing is so
it's
perfect.
So good. It makes sense just having him, because
yes.
Even the original actor, he didn't start off in comedy either.
No,
he was a straight actor too.
Yeah.
He was a straight actor, and also like when he went to Police Squad, it was something different.
Yep. He was doing sci-fi films in the 60s, Forbidden Planet and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I think it makes perfect sense.
It's a great transition just having Nielsen coming in and taking over the role, and it's something similar. So I'm hoping it does great.
Yeah.
The trailers have been hilarious. Like, I can't believe they did that OJ bit twice.
and it kills in the
it
theater
kills me.
every time. Every time in the theater.
Even my
it
father,
kills.
he loves the films. He was already a little like
Yeah.
on the first trailer until that bit happened. And
Yeah.
he's just like, okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
Sold. It's
Done.
so good,
Sold.
and of course, it's it's made by people who love the originals. And it is weird to me, you were just talking about how all movies are a miracle, whether they happen or they don't happen. And I think about stuff. It's just been so weird since COVID, because there's stuff that I think that should have done so well that got relegated to streaming and didn't get. I don't think enough people saw the Rescue Rangers movie. And it was phenomenal. It was one of the funniest things.
I am so glad you mentioned that. I still rewatch that film.
Yeah.
Every time I seen that
ago.
When I saw that trailer, I was like one of the only ones talking about that. When it came out, like I was waiting for it, just like hit a certain time for it just to appear on streaming, and like dragging my wife and like hey, we're watching this. Like I don't care what you say. Like I feel like this film has something, and it was great.
I say that because Akiva directed it and also directed Naked Gun, but there's just another version of why this worked, why this didn't work, and for that to have gotten stuck on Disney Plus and not had eyes in front of it. I'm so glad.
But in some ways, I'm glad it hit Disney Plus, because when it comes to streaming, especially for those type of films, they can do risks. Because if you're when you're going to throw in theaters, I knew there were going to be a lot of notes with that film, and it would be vastly different from what the end product was going to be.
Sure, no doubt.
So like,
but we're
I'm going to rewatch it tonight.
Absolutely, there you go. You're welcome. But now to be staring down the barrel at a Superman movie, which is just the words sound weird coming out of my mouth, and I know it's only been 12 years proper since our last foray.
No, I'm glad you said it, since with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm heartbroken that we never got the sequel.
I am too. I think that was the biggest the biggest discredit to what came next. There are large parts of Dawn of Justice I enjoy. There's large parts that I don't. I feel like that's where everything started kind of going south a little bit, in my opinion. I'm not saying for everybody.
No, and I respect that.
But Man of Steel, I largely enjoy, and I think not getting to catch up with that character in his own right for a sequel was what did it a disservice, because, as I've said many times on this show, my strongest issue with Batman vs. Superman was we all saw Man of Steel, and Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne did not see he didn't watch Man of Steel like we did, so we're all sitting in the theater like, hey, like trying to talk to him on screen like
no, but the thing is, I get that aspect. It was his learning, to trust Clark in the end. So my biggest gripe, going from Man of Steel and then to Dawn of Justice, because there were aspects of Man of Steel that were controversial that was never brought up again. Because going back to with Zod, like that's a scene I will defend, but then I understand the interpretation against it. And it was something that was never followed up, never mentioned as to that how that affected Clark. Like, you know how he was affected at that scene, but then after the fact, was it because of that that led him towards who he is now? Like, it was never answered. Hinted here and there, like if you really want to deep dive in those films for a general audience, it wasn't a place on a different place and served. And it affected. Man, sorry. That's a topic that's been, especially just the handling on Cavill, because he was a great Superman. As well as with Brandon as well. With Brandon, with Superman Returns, because I know you mentioned it as well. It's one that I love and adore. There's so many great aspects and elements of it, whereas there were some things that did hurt it. But the main thing that it did a disservice to the film, and especially to Brandon, was the connection to the Reeves film. Because he was, quote unquote, Christopher Reeves as Superman. So the only are viewing Reeve, not Brandon. And with that, you have the audience just looking at him as just a Christopher Reeve copy, and not so much on the performance. And it really severely hindered the film. and also like with Brandon's career as well.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, just seeing him just putting on the suit again for the crossover was great because now
that was vindication.
Yeah, now
for me.
you actually saw his actual interpretation of Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt good. Just
it felt very
just seeing that
good.
a final flyby, nice icing it was like a nice icing to the cake, and I hope they could revisit it for a little HBO miniseries or something.
Before this whole DCU thing happened, and we were still just, hey, let's throwing stuff at the wall, which I'm here for, because sometimes when you throw stuff at the wall, it sticks really well.
We have Ellsworth Project, so
yeah. Sometimes when you throw stuff at the wall, it works really well. Aquaman, and then sometimes when you
that was a surprise.
I mean, $1 billion. Who would have thought an Aquaman movie would have made $1 billion?
Funny thing, I had a feeling that was going to hit north of 800 because its only competition was Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
And people thought Mary Poppins was going to be the $1 billion film. Like, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If
and I don't even remember
if that was going to do it, I don't know who's paying you.
And
but in the end, it was a damn good ride. That film.
I don't even remember the Mary Poppins sequel. I saw it, I could remember. I know who all was in it, but I couldn't even tell you what the plot of it was to save my life. So it was a vast, to have Aquaman, and that's another thing with Superman now is we're sandwiched in between.
Yeah, Jurassic World and Fantastic
whatever
Four.
we're calling. I can't even remember what we're calling the Jurassic World movie these days. Rebirth, right?
Yeah, Jurassic World.
How have I? Why do I struggle with that? It's not like I don't know those movies backward and forward. And then Fantastic Four, and of course
which looks fantastic, by the way.
I'm so excited for that.
Same.
And I'm not even the biggest Marvel guy, but just the aesthetic and the cast. I'm so excited for that. That's a whole other story. But to be sandwiched between a seventh sequel in a franchise that just made $1 billion, 3 years ago? How long ago was
Dominion?
Not even 3 years.
Like 3.5, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, that made $1 billion. I hated it, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm glad we got the legacy characters back. It
was
was great seeing that. They milked every minute of the screen that they were on, but
the story was wild.
Mutant locusts.
Yeah.
Cloning.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
This seems to be more back to its roots. I still haven't gone to see it yet. I've turned down my invite, and I'll see it when I see it. I don't want to. The last thing I saw in theaters was Final Reckoning because I didn't want any other taste in my mouth going into Superman. I felt all right. That was my last foray into the theater until Superman because I just want. If I go see Jurassic World right now, all I'm going to be thinking about is Superman the entire time. So I don't feel like that does justice to that. I'll see it after Superman comes out. But it I saw CinemaScore gave it a B.
Yeah, I think it was like a B- or something like that, or B.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but then again, when it comes to these Jurassic films, people love dinosaurs, regardless of the cinema score, and also even Rotten Tomato scores. Like Dominion, for instance, had a low one.
Mm-hmm.
It made $1 billion. It goes back to, is the film fun?
Right.
Yeah, regardless of the plot or anything. If I'm munching on my popcorn and just waiting for the T-Rex just to pop out of the river for that sequence, I'm fine.
I'll buy the ticket. I'm along for the ride, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking for Hitchcock. That's not what I'm expecting to see when I sit down in a Jurassic Park movie. But I'm expecting more from Superman. But
yeah,
I love a good summer lineup. I mean, it makes me feel like summer of '89 when I see things like, oh, hey, here's a Jurassic Park movie, here's a Fantastic Four movie, here's a Superman movie, here's a Mission Impossible movie. I
haven't seen a lineup like this in years.
I know.
Yeah, it's whatever they're calling it, Super Jurassic, Super Fantastic Park, or whatever it is. They're trying to make a Barbie Hammer out of it.
Right.
It's great. All eyes are on July. And
yes,
I want each of these films to succeed because in the end, that's what you want. I hate seeing people jumping on me haha, this failed. We're waiting for the flop. I'm like, it's counterintuitive for what you want because you want Marvel to succeed. You want DC to succeed. You want Paramount, Universal to succeed because it's going to incentivize the other studios to push the boundaries and bring out more quality
Yeah.
for the films.
I never root against a project ever. I mean, I've
Mm-hmm.
worked on the fringes of this industry, and then in this industry, and then out of this industry so many times over the last 20 plus years now. And to actively root against something or to praise failure for people who went in and did their jobs every day from top to bottom, whether it's an executive or it's a best boy or a grip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate when a show is canceled. Because it doesn't even matter if I watch the show. People lost their jobs when that happens. I never understand rooting for failure on things like that. So when I see stuff like, oh, I can't wait for, Superman to beat Fantastic Four or anything like that, like I'm like, why can't they all do well? Why can't
Or
we
Fantastic
just all
Four beating Super Flop.
right? You
want them to succeed.
I mean, it goes back to you were talking about being, deep in the trenches of the Snyder movement there at the beginning of the outset of our episode here, and it's like, if you do truly love these characters, you want to see them succeed. You should want to see audiences embrace them. You should want to see kids embrace Superman, because that's when so many of us fell in love with this character. And I mean, that's my origin story at the age of 2-3 years old, getting my first Superman toy, and like, what is this? Why he's bright red, blue, and yellow? I love this guy. He's got red cape.
My daughter is like running around with her Cornswood Superman toy, and it's just great. It's great to see. She's always asking just to watch the trailer. Like, she's really entrenched into that character, and also with Batman as well. In fact, that was her first introduction, and she's so proud. If you ask her about the Batmobile, like, she'll bring out the '89 Keaton that I have, the Spin Master version. So it's like the kid version. She'll explain the exhaust, the canopy, everything. Like,
how old is she?
She's 3.
She's
about to turn 4, and that is her pride and joy right there.
Yeah.
But now with Superman, like, she's always asking questions as to, like, why does he fly? About the dog, about the whole dynamic between Clark and Superman on the secret identity. Like, it hasn't really clicked on her yet, because every time she's seeing Clark, like, I'm telling her that's Superman, she's like, no, that's not.
Wait till
back of my head, I'm like, thank God that she hasn't had that realization that it's the same person.
Oh, because when those glasses come off and the shirt rip happens, that's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. Like, I can't wait till she sees it. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna take her to the theater for it yet. Yeah, I'm struggling with that as well. My 5-year-old son, he's like, we're going, right? And I'm like, I'm going. We'll see if you're going. We're gonna test the waters first before you go.
I know Gunn, and there might be a couple things that might not be too suitable. So
I was even a little surprised. Saw that clip the other day of them talking in the bullpen, and Clark, says he didn't completely kick Superman's ass. I was like, okay, well, we're doing this. Have you watched Batwheels? Has she tried Batwheels yet?
No, she hasn't done.
You should.
She hasn't done Batwheels. She hasn't done the Spider-Man show that's on Disney Plus. Like, she's just really, she's really into Moana, so she's always watching that. And then she'll ask me sometimes to either play the Superman trailers, or she'll ask to watch a couple clips to see Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman together.
Yeah,
in her head, like, she can't believe that something like that exists.
Yeah. I feel
and
the
also
same
Spider-Man,
way.
like, she loves watching the Raimi swings.
Nice. Well, I highly recommend Batwheels if she is loving the Batmobile. I think they've done some really cute things on that show. I know it's an excuse for toys, obviously, but it's
like with every other show that's out there.
I mean, there's even one episode where they're like, we need, I think all the other, I listen while I'm folding laundry or doing something else. There's an episode where they're like, oh, we can't do this alone. We've got to bring out the original Batmobile, and they go to the back of the Batcave, and this old garage door opens, and it's the '66 Batmobile rolls out, and they've repurposed Adam West dialogue from the show, so Adam West voices
the Batmobile,
the '66 Batmobile, and it's stuff like that. So, if she is into that, I highly recommend that, because I know my kids have enjoyed that. And of course, I'm sitting up there in the corner like, yeah, there should be a Superman cartoon for you to be watching right now, but I guess we'll watch Batmobile cartoons.
Hopefully they will. Well, they have the Crypto show that's coming out.
They do have the Crypto shorts, and they've enjoyed the old Crypto cartoon, which I never watched back in the day, and I just recently purchased that on Apple, and they've blown through those.
Nice.
Which, yeah, I knew of its existence, obviously, but I never took the time to watch it as an adult.
Yeah, I've never really seen anything of it. Like maybe a couple clips here and there. Like
Yeah,
just like you, like I've known
cute.
of its existence, but it was like at a time like I've already grown out of that. Even
Yeah.
though like I still hold Batman the Animated Series and Superman.
Well,
The
that's
New
like
Adventures,
the
like
pinnacle.
too, like high regards.
Yeah,
for animation.
absolutely. Well, and it was. I mean, it was so groundbreaking. In '92 with that show.
Oh yeah, no, with even like the art style alone, like how they put pen to paper on creating the art, it was never been done, and
No.
they did it.
No, they did a phenomenal job with it.
They did.
I wish as much as I love My Adventures with Superman, I wish we were getting in that same vein of Cape Crusader. I wish we were getting a Superman.
Hey, who knows? They could introduce Superman in season 2, Cape Crusader. Who knows?
Yeah, we saw Lois briefly in season 1, so who could say? I've said for years now, I don't know why they have not attempted to re-tap into the Fleischer mentality and bring that.
Well,
Art
we're seeing
Deco
that right
version.
now with McGunn's film.
Absolutely.
Yeah, down to the shield, and hell, we even got a kaiju.
Yep. Got an ice monster for you. So,
in fact, just going back to that, like, what's something that's worrying you about the film? Like next
it's
week,
worrying me. I was gonna say it's nothing right now. Anything that's worrying me is anything that's gonna happen as a result of audience reaction, not anything in the film. I'm not. I knew walking into Man of Steel, I knew 98% of the plot from either people who had worked on the film or people in the industry. I knew about the Zod thing going into it. I had to adjust my mentality walking into something like that, and obviously I'm good with it now. But I knew so much walking into that. People have attempted to tell me so much about next week, and obviously just the name of the game and doing the show and working with Warner and DC. I've tried to just see no evil here, speak no evil, and just keep my head down. I'm not one that is strong about not watching trailers or clips. If one gets put in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. I'm a weak man when it comes to.
Hey, you're not the only one. When I
know, and
I saw when they released those 3 clips, I'm like, great. Luckily, it's not too spoilerly.
Yeah. And we've got good friends here in the production side of this show that are one in particular, and he's like, I'm good. Show me the first trailer, and then I'm out, and I'm not watching anything else. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have.
Yeah, I wish too.
It's hard to report on it and do both of those. Like, I feel like I can't do my job properly if I don't delve into all that. But I also would love to that clip that came out with the dog and the kaiju night before last. I wish I had experienced that on the screen. I really do. I wish I had seen
Likewise,
that.
but from what I know with that, it's just like it's a small taste into something much larger.
Yeah, but as soon as that score hit, I was like, I wish I experienced that on the big screen and not on my phone. But
you'll get a different experience just hearing it surround, depending on which theory you're going to.
And that theater better be dark because there's going to be a lot of tears rolling down my cheek.
Yeah, so
it's all right,
man. I'm with you when it comes to just trying to avoid. Like again, it's like name of the game with this type of profession. Like people try to tell you things. Like for this particular project, like usually spoilers never bother me. Like sometimes I walk into a film like knowing almost 98 to 99% of everything. But with this one, like I have tried just to take in as much as I am willing to take, but try to keep mystery on the majority. So I don't know that much. I know there was something that released a while ago that people are screaming, "Oh, the leaks are real" and stuff like that. Like even then, just looking at that, it's just like it's not. It doesn't give you the whole picture, and also it's someone's negative thoughts too. So. But there's a lot of bias behind that writing as well.
out of context things too. Like that thing was true, but it didn't fully encompass what that thing is until you see it.
Exactly. With Superman itself, like the only big spoiler that was ever delivered to me, and it was something I wish I kind of maybe first experienced it in the trailer or something, but when I heard about it in the summer was the kaiju, I was like, So I'm like, guns going Fleischer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even ask for like details or anything, like how it's going down, how it's gonna look or anything. It's just that there's a kaiju and he punches a kaiju. That's it. That's all I learned. And at first, I'm thinking this might be fake.
Yeah,
I heard it again from an extra. I'm like,
yeah,
oh my god. So
yeah.
I kept that, but then I threw in when it comes to scoops, I hate doing them.
Yeah,
I rarely do them. But on my other platform, Nexus Point News, that's something that we do, but it's only strictly on casting. We don't want to do anything when it comes to plot or anything of that sort because it's a disservice for fans and also for the filmmakers. Now
Agreed.
casting someone to a project or just saying like, hey, a project might be live, that's another story.
Right.
But with the kaiju, like I couldn't get out of my head. So the only thing I did was just release a clip of the ice monster from the Fleischer cartoons. Not even saying a word back in August, just saying the words, this is a job for Superman. That's it.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. And maybe revisit it in December once the trailer releases or something. Thankfully, it's true. It's a damn kaiju.
Yeah.
There's a damn flying dog. So,
There's
Metamorphose.
It's fantastical.
Pocket dimension. Like either this one's gonna be overstuffed, or this is gonna be one of those Saturday morning cartoons that I loved as a kid, done right on the big screen. I'm just counting the days for next week.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm emotionally taxed at this point.
Likewise.
One reason because not only doing all the coverage online, and thank God we've got our social media guy Tim that handles so much of that, but
you have one of those.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Mostly...
I'm too old. I'm too old, and I feel like Danny Glover in all instances. But
it's mostly like on my side. It's I'm the one doing the tweeting, the editing, the graphic designs, and all that. Like,
and
I
you do.
Brought in someone, I brought in someone new a few months ago who's been doing great, and he finally learned how to do the edits as well.
Well, you do a phenomenal job at it.
He can match that, but my God, so
yeah,
it must feel nice having help.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very. I sing his praises so much. He was literally a kid when he started listening to us back in the day, and has just followed the show and become like a little brother to me. So I love having him on the team now because his recall of not only the properties we cover, but the properties of this show, the things he can pull out are just insane. So he's like a living Fortress of Solitude when it comes to the House of L. Yeah, but yeah, I wish I had 3 of him. Good Lord, I could tackle so many things if there were only 3 of him, and if I could pay him more. But it's
will you pay him? I don't have that budget.
I don't even remember where I was going now with all that, and just the excitement level of being taxed because usually we just we'll talk about Superman, but if we're putting out regular episodes, they're just Smallville episodes because we go back and talk about the show or anything. So to have done deep dives and to get to have guests on like yourself that have never been on before and really tap into this new world, which is something we're trying to do now more than ever, reaching our 20th anniversary. I'm so excited to talk more and more about it, but I'm also more and more tired as we get closer to the date that I'm going to be running on pure adrenaline by the time that our team is in Cleveland next week to do the screening of the Siegel and Schuster organization. I'm very excited about that. Thank you for bringing that up, Alex. If you'd like to join us in Cleveland, Ohio, Friday, July.
My God, I would love to. There's so many people I've befriended in Cleveland during the shoot.
Yeah.
I would love to meet. So many great stories on just the behind the scenes on the shooting of the film. And how these guys went to lengths just to get certain shots.
Oh yeah.
There was a time when they even thought Cavill was on set.
Right.
Yeah, it was a fun 3 days. Just being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did he actually do it? But
I know you were. I think you posted something the other day, but just that feeling right out a year ago when they were filming on the streets and we were getting to see the shots, and we finally found out there was a yellow S on the back of the cape, and all that was just the high.
That just seeing the cape. The cape was the star of the whole shoot in Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
I didn't expect it.
I hope it's got a SAG credit because I think it needs to get paid.
Too. But I did not expect the love for that cape from everyone everyone online. Like, I thought there was gonna be an attack because it had the LS, but just the way it just billowed and just it had a mind of its own. I'm like,
Yeah,
God.
I think it's
Like,
I think it's one of the best looking live action capes we've ever had, and I'm a huge proponent for the LOS. I think it adds so much character.
it does.
Being on there, whether it looks like the 2025 or the Kingdom Come symbol or whatever you want to call it, or if it's just the classic 78 Reeve shield, or if it's the classic shield itself, the classic DC shield, whatever it may be. I love it being on there.
No, I'm glad he went with the LS and not what was it? I think New 52 was just the black S on the cape.
Right, the black, yeah. But if you, the listener, do want to join us in Cleveland, Ohio next week, we will be at the Capitol Theater on Friday, July 11th at the 7:10 p.m. showing. We are partnering with the Siegel and Schuster Organization of Cleveland, and we are excited to bring Superman to a room full of fans. We'll be doing a live podcast following the film with DC writer Brian Michael Bendis there in the audience, and we hope you will join us for that. You can head over to our Instagram at SuperHouseOfL and get your tickets for that showing. And of course, you can find us anywhere on social media at SuperHouseOfL or online at superhouseofl.com. Alex, tell our listeners where they can find you.
You can find me anywhere on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at DC Film News. And also, you can find us at nexuspointnews.com and at Nexus Point News on Twitter and Instagram. That's our affiliate site as well. And that's for things outside of DC, from Marvel, A24, you name it.
Awesome. So check those out. Alex, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you will come back again to the House of L.
Dude, no, of course. And thank you for so much having me here. And again, good luck for Cleveland, the birthplace of Superman. That must be a great feeling, just hosting that and just being the show that you are and the legacy that you have, just able just to bring that to the hometown.
I'm just a fan at the end of the day. I don't care about the last 20 years of doing this. I enjoy every aspect of it. I feel honored to have gotten to talk about Superman and these characters so much, but to get to do this in literally Superman's backyard in the backdrop for Metropolis of the new film is an honor I can't. And the problem is I can't even fully get to it yet because I feel like I have to see. I couldn't walk into that screening not having seen the film yet, obviously. Especially getting up in front of an audience and talking about it, I would just be weeping. I'm like, I got to get the tears out of my system. My 14-year-old daughter and I went to see Final Reckoning. I said a minute ago, it's the last movie I saw in theater, and the trailer came on, and like halfway through the trailer, she doesn't care. I mean, she cares that I care about Superman, but she doesn't care about Superman. And halfway through the trailer, she leaned over and she goes, "Are you crying?" And I'm like, "Shut up! You don't understand." So the idea of trying to get up in front of an audience while sobbing would not do well for me. So
hey, if anything, just grab Luke from the UK to do that for you.
Yeah.
In fact, no, he'll sob as well.
Yeah.
That's someone that was shared that same passion.
We would both just be wiping our tears away on each other's shirts.
Exactly. At least you have a shoulder to lean on for that.
So all that to say, I haven't even really brought myself to fully grasp what the Cleveland thing means yet until I see the movie, and then I'm gonna go, oh my god, I'm going to Superman's hometown to host a screening. Like it's not even, and to do it with my best friends from all across the U.S. that are coming, that all met through this podcast. It's just weird, and like I haven't gotten to that point yet because I'm still like, all right, I got to see the movie, and then I'll think about it. But I'm excited to talk to you after we see the movie. I'm excited to have more conversations, and I hope you'll come back again and talk about it with us as we finally get to see what James Gunn's bringing us.
Yeah, let's see what he's cooking.
All right, can't wait.
All right, man.
In the meantime, like I said, follow Alex at DC Film News and his other outlets, and you can follow us at SuperHouseOfL. Please consider heading over, now that we have condensed all into one podcast feed, wherever you listen, be it Spotify, Amazon, Apple, leave us a rating and review, because we obviously we're so diversified on shows over the years, and now being all under one umbrella, we'd like to return to those rating reviews. It's so much easier. It's like, why didn't I do this forever ago?
It's the same way.
It's so much easier. And I was killing myself on all these things. It was like, and somebody finally just said, why not do this? My buddy Dane. And I was like, yeah, that makes more sense. Why didn't I
Dane's a good
think
friend.
of Oh, well, there you go. Good. Well, we're gonna have to talk about that off mic.
No, I'm saying he's a good friend too. Just
yes,
come
no,
with
I was
that.
like, oh, you know Dane, but okay.
No,
everybody
maybe I do. I don't know.
Everybody should have a Dane. Everybody should have.
Exactly.
All right, we will see you next time, everybody, and stay tuned for Superman.
Have a super week next week.